Good morning, Dual Coast fans. Welcome back
What is happening?
Dual Coast Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Skoker, joined by my West Coast co-host, Russ Rogers. Russ, how are we doing over there?
It is 0 dark 30 outside, but it is light in here because it's Tuesday morning.
That's it, baby. That's it.
It is Dual Coast Tuesday.
Dual Coast Tuesdays.
Let's go, baby.
Yes, sir.
We're hoping Chad will. We're hoping Chad will jump on. He's our guest today, but if not, we are going. We're live. It's happening.
Live. Yep, we're gonna hang out.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good, man. It was good. Quiet over here, honestly.
Quiet.
Had about, I would say, 6 to 8 people. About 7 people total, I would say. Nothing crazy, but it was a good time. It was a good time.
All right.
How about yourself over there?
We had Magic Johnson's number +1, 33.
Really?
Yeah, at my mom's house. Yeah, it was a boatload, all family. We had one family that my brother had invited from his church. They're from Australia.
Sure.
We had a tremendous time, man.
Wow.
And we didn't let the overcast of the 3 days that we were there affect us. We were outside. Okay. I never saw the sun. I remember back in the college days when I would come home from LA, I'd be in the sun, and then I would go home and work, for my dad and be home for a month.
Right.
Never see the sun.
Really?
We have that, what we call the Thule fog, which is fog that sits real low.
You explained this to me, I remember.
Yeah. And so, sometimes, we'd have that, but we'd have overcast for a month, never seeing the sun. So I was happy to return to...
Why do they call it the Thule fog? What is that?
I don't know. Thule meaning down, down in the tools, down in the low, down in the corn, down in the trenches, down in the dirt, down on the highway with Thule.
Didn't know that term.
So anyway, there was no, only in certain spots was it really low, but it was just gray, but we had a tremendous time. Always good. See my son, see my mom. Family, yeah.
Your mom cooked for 33 people?
What's that?
Your mom cooked for 33 people?
She did the stuffing and the turkey, and then everybody else brings all the sides.
Understood.
And so she was concerned, like, I don't know if we're gonna have enough, but and oh my goodness. At first I thought we were gonna eat nothing but desserts. Right. Because all the desserts arrived first. And I was like, all right, well, we're going to have a lot of pie. We're going to have a lot of sugar.
Wouldn't be a bad time. Not so, podcast though.
Yeah, but we had a great time. We had the ham show up and anyway, it was good, man. Hey, so something you shared with me recently.
Sure.
About that you're going to be on next week. And you're going to be in a different location next week and I'm going to be in a different location next week with Chris and Camille. Santa Cruz Athletic Club. So that's going to be really cool. But you're going to be on Fox News next Tuesday. Tell us that awesome news, man.
Yeah. So as some listeners know, that I sit on the board of a charity here in New York, Slice of Charity, that's created by Anthony Supa, who's one of my best friends here. So he actually we arranged for an interview on Fox. We're going to be on Street Talk next Tuesday morning. It's being recorded, I believe, at 10:30 in the morning, but we aired on Saturday morning, from what I was told.
Very cool. Street
Talk, yes. So we're going to go over a Slice of Charity, a little bit about what we do here in New York, and we're also going to go over Dual Coast Podcast and what me and Russ do here on this podcast. And, a little bit about what we talk about, things we touch on, people's lives we've changed, and things of that nature. Yep. It's an exciting time.
What do we do on here?
We talk, hang out, talk about Thanksgiving. Other than that, I don't know. But yeah, it should be a good time. I'm very excited for the opportunity. I've never been on a major network like that. Russ, I know, goes on TV and local stations once in a while, right, Russ?
Yes.
I've never been in this situation, so it's great to do something of that magnitude.
Yeah, well, to be on Fox is going to be amazing. Yep. My experience of being on, local TV stations, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Bakersfield, been on a number of those. It is a very unique experience, because going into the trenches and seeing how they do things behind the scenes is really something.
I'm sure.
I remember being in Buffalo. In fact, I had one story where I was supposed to be there at like 4:45 in the morning.
Yes.
Had the address, everything is ready to go. Punch it in, get over there, and I'm like, there's nobody here. Like the parking lot's empty, the building is closed, it's locked.
Jeez.
I mean, it was, yeah. And so I walk around, I drive around the building, nothing.
Nothing.
I'm checking, are there other locations, and this is, now it's getting down to crunch time. I'm supposed to be there and
Sure.
it's super early in the morning, right?
Sure.
And so after 15, 20 minutes driving around town thinking maybe there's another site, I go back to the hotel, and I was like, the guy that had set it up is on the West Coast. And I was like, man, it's like 3 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning,
Wow.
there. And it's 5:30 now in Buffalo. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I just decided to text him.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, he was still awake. He responded and he said, this is where you need to be. And he sent me the text, and he messaged her and said he's on his way. So I ran back down the hotel, jumped in the car, drove to the other location, and whew, man, that was panic for a good 45 minutes.
How far away was it?
5 minutes. 5
Okay.
minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes. So, and the studio was unbelievable. Fairly new. They had relocated, remodeled this building. It was probably the nicest one that I had experienced thus far.
Really?
But yeah, I mean, it got in there, opened up, and I was just like, TV screens everywhere. We went into the green screen, which I'm assuming you're going to be behind or in front of.
Yeah.
It's just a great experience.
It's honestly, I'm a little nervous, I'll be honest with you, because I've never been in that situation before where it's kind of like it's not live like this is, but never been in the situation of where it's that magnitude where you're actually sitting in the studio.
You better represent us well, man. Don't be fumbling over your words.
I don't know how to do anything else to represent us well. But yeah, I'll put myself together a little bit. But yeah, something in that magnitude, though. You're sitting in the studio on Fox, your interview style, you're in the chair, cameras rolling, green screen behind you. Like that changes the atmosphere to me a little bit. But it's really cool, man. I mean, I want to get used to that, considering we're going to be on the news every week from now on.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's hard to believe that we are on our 12th month.
Yep. We are
12th month. Tell me your experience of the first 11.
Honestly, it's been pretty amazing, man. We kind of discussed this last year before we started, and we said, we're going to put together this podcast, and we're going to, me and you are going to talk. We're going to get into fitness. We're going to get into mental health and things like that. But I didn't imagine the amount of guests and the amount of people who can represent us every single week on this podcast, talk about their specialties, their likes, what they're into, their niche in life. And it's been incredible to hear all these stories, what people do, the magnitude that they've grown themselves into, and how they're growing us. And now, I checked the Dual Coast email, which I have open right now in front of me, and there are people knocking down the door to try to get on the podcast.
Wow.
Emailing us, Instagram, everything like that. And, I didn't expect that at this point in time. I expected us to, me and you just be talking on here, trying to preach what we like, what we're into, our habits, our likes. But to grow something of this magnitude in this amount of time, I think is really special and unexpected, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. Well, in addition to your list, I do get emails as well, but not knocking down the door. But on my list, I have probably 20 people.
Yeah.
Right now that are ready to go at any time.
Right.
So, I mean, we're already booked to mid-January, so we're 6 weeks out right now. But the list, I can easily go through those 20 and just fill it up and get all the way to May.
Sure.
It's amazing. It's amazing. This past year, first of all, you and I meeting, for the first time almost 2 years ago, and then having some more dialogue, and then going out and hanging out at the Hard Rock Hotel that night, and 6 of us there. And you and I really didn't even talk that much that night that we went out, but we knew we had a good connection. And so we started talking on the phone, and it just kind of grew. And you're like, wait, I think we need to do something. We can collaborate. Let's figure out what we can do. And then, you had mentioned podcast. I had it in the back of my mind, but I didn't think like this was going to be something that we were going to, really do.
Yeah.
And then really trying to figure out, wow, the nuts and bolts behind this thing. There's a lot of work to doing a podcast.
For sure. Yeah. I remember we went back and forth with multiple conversations on what we were going to do as far as, possibly doing a book or possibly doing some sort of, sellable product, for lack of better words, tangible product. And then we're like, yeah, podcast. And, we started reaching out to connections that we had who were in the podcast world, and a lot of people helped us out. Cindy Whitteman. I mean, that's, big deal. Helped us out.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy. And then you kind of learn what goes into making a podcast, and it is not easy. Not easy. But yeah, man, I mean, it's been a ride so far. I think 2026 is going to be even bigger for us, honestly, because we have some real great guests coming on already that we know about in January. I think it's going to be a great year for us as far as events go. And just in general, I think, we're getting on our way here.
Yeah. And who's coming on December 23rd?
That's not a guy who represents fitness very well.
That was a good one.
Not a guy who represents physical health very well. But a guy
he flies everywhere.
But a man who is high-spirited, emotionally satisfies people the next day, 2 days later, really.
Yeah.
And has great attire.
Yeah.
And that man is Santa Claus himself.
That's right. Woo!
Santa Claus himself.
Is going to be on our show December 23rd.
Old Saint Nick himself is glucose premiere. Which,
gotta love it.
I hope a lot of kids tune into that episode. That'd be great, honestly. Yeah, that'll be a good time. That'll be a good time.
Well, I mean, it's pre-flight. He's tuning up. He's tuning up the sleigh, feeding the reindeer, making sure they got the proper protein.
He's coming on Dual Coast for the mental health boost and the boost that he needs motivationally to get across the entire planet the next day.
Yeah. So tune in for that show. That's gonna be an awesome one.
Tune in 100%. So, Russ, it's almost the end of the year. We are in December now. January 1st is coming up. What are most people going to be doing or thinking about at this point in time come January 1? They're going to be thinking about their New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions.
Thumbs down to that.
Thumbs down to New Year's resolutions. That's a Dual Coast method here. Thumbs down to New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, I don't believe in it.
Talk to me.
I don't believe in it. It was something that I have done. I know I mentioned this, and we've had this discussion, that New Year's resolutions many times fall flat within the first month.
Sure.
Most New Year's resolutions don't make it 30 days, right? But what do most people, when it comes to New Year's resolution, what do most people put in there?
Weight loss.
Right? Going to get in the gym. And if you look at the gyms in the first 10 days of January, I can tell you there is a massive spike in attendance. Correct. Massive.
Oh, huge.
Once you get past those first 10 days, here it goes. Boom, rock bottom.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
In the last couple of years, I personally have been challenged with one word. One word.
Yes.
Intentional was 2 years ago. Certainty is right now. And I have my word already for 2026. Do you have yours?
Do you? It's funny because I knew you were going to transition to this point in the conversation when I asked a New Year's resolution. And this year I was, I didn't have a word for the previous year like you did because, you presented this idea with me this year. So this year was connected. I don't quite have a word yet, and I kind of want to think about it. I'll be honest with you.
All right.
What is your word for 2026?
Interesting how it came about, because I had stated in a text to someone just 2 weeks ago this word, and it was a word that came out of me, and it resonated with me so much that I said this to this person, that I began to think about it and think about it, and it never left my heart and it never left my mind. And I said, that is my word for myself. The word is unrecognizable. That is my word for 2026. Foundational stuff, intent was huge for me. Certainty, huge for me. And building this foundation of intent and certainty to lead into unrecognizable. And in other words, going off of this planet. Like, it is going to be an unbelievable 2026 year. Building this system of Russell Rogers, Move Today 365, and all of the things. December 28th, getting ready to launch a whole new avenue of what Russell Rogers is about, and Move Today and Dual Coast and everything, launching into a whole nother thing. So we're soft launching this thing on December 28th. It's going to be unrecognizable. But we're building this system for the future, immediate and far, right? Just what is present, what is in the middle of 26, what is at the end, and what is going on in 2027.
Sure.
So Amberly Lago is going to be a guest at some point at the beginning of the year with us here. And we're looking at doing an impact event with her in her city of the Big D, Dallas, Texas.
Cowboys.
Yeah. In 2027. So great things, that are happening. And that's not the soft launch, but that is just something. There are many things that are happening. And so looking forward to. So that is my word, unrecognizable, for 2026.
I like that. I like that
Thank
a lot.
you.
See, that also falls into a category where you could make it so many things, because you're trying to make yourself unrecognizable, meaning that you want to achieve and you want to excel and you want to show people what you can do to make you unrecognizable, your brand, you as a person.
Yes.
So it's a level that you can pretty much just take anywhere, unrecognizable. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Like I said to you, I'm still going to think about my word because I want to ponder a little bit.
Yeah.
I loved my word for 2024, connected. And I think this podcast really aided that to a high degree, because I became connected with all these guests, closer with you, and also people who are asking me about the podcast, because I get people at work, I get people even in the gym who are like, I've seen you on social media. People at work are like, you have a podcast? And when people ask you, hey, you have a podcast, I don't really expect them a lot of times to go and just listen to it, because people are like, oh, you have a podcast. That's cool. And yeah, I do. You should check it out. They all checked it out. They all listened, and they still listen. I didn't really expect that so much, where people are like, I thought they'd be like, hey, you have a podcast. It's really cool. I didn't expect them to go and listen to all the episodes and, check us out and listen to our guests and, come to me at work and be like, hey, that guy talking about breathing, that was awesome. I'm like, you watched? So I feel like it connected me to a lot of people around me, my close environment, my family, my friends, everybody asking me about this, and also just the guests, honestly. We made, me and you, so many connections this year with so many different people down so many different avenues, from, motivation to mental health to breath work to biology to science to, everything in those realms. And I think that, connected was fitting for me. And I really do want to ponder a little bit more about 2026 and give you a good word, because I really want it to resonate.
Yeah, it'll hit you.
It will.
It'll hit you. So with all that being said, our challenge to all of you is to not necessarily come up with a New Year's resolution, but come up with a word that is going to really resonate with you. Marinate on it. Now you've got today's the 2nd. You've got 29 days to
Yeah.
come up with your word for 2026. So I encourage all of our listeners out there, start thinking about your word that is going to be a challenge for you in whatever capacity to move forward in your life in 2026. Something that will challenge you, something that will motivate you, find out where you are in life and what you want more of for yourself. Because we want to grow every single day. We want to get better every single day. So what is that word that's going to help you? And my encouragement is don't use the word, like, if it is weight loss, don't use weight loss as your word, right? Do something that's going to inspire you to do that, right? So think of something that's going to mentally and in your heart resonate at a deeper level that you're going to say over and over and over again. You're going to think about every single day in your life that is going to be a challenge. Because, like, when that word intentional, you know the story. I was with Craig at a coffee shop,
Yeah.
the hole in the wall in New York City, and I've got the East River behind me. I think it's the East River. Maybe it changes there. I don't know.
That's the East. You're correct. You're correct.
It is the East River.
East River. Yep.
So the East River's behind me, and it's just all glass. It's a really cool setting. And I met Craig for the first time, in our conversation, he asked that question, pointed, boom, what is your word? And I was like, and it hit me, right, just like a ton of bricks, right there, intentional. And I'm telling you, that changed the direction of 2024. I mean, it did.
Yep.
It did, and it still does. It
Yeah,
still does. Because
exactly.
that word is always in my head.
I was going to say, I think the previous words still live with you, because you think about those words and simultaneously, even though you have a new word and a new determination and stuff like that. Ooh, determination. Maybe that's my word.
Ooh.
But I think that kind of like stays with you. Like you're trying to be intentional, determined. Now you want to be unrecognizable, things like that. I think that those all stick with you. And it's hard to do it on the spot. Like you just put me on the spot and I'm like, oh man. But I feel like it's something that has to resonate and click with you. Like you saw it show up as like a sign to you almost. You typed it, you saw it, and you said, hey, that's my word. It's something that's going to be brought to you, I feel like, to some degree. Like, it's something that's going to be given to you, if that's a best way to put it. Like when you're thinking about weight loss, or you're focused on weight loss, maybe determined is your word. You're determined to be, fit. You're determined for weight loss. You're determined for this. Something along those lines. And I think this has way more magnitude than making a New Year's resolution saying, hey, I'm not going to eat chocolate this year. Like, you want something that's really going to stick with you, really going to resonate in your mind every time you say it. And it's easier, too, because you focused on one thing. I think when something is too broad spectrum, like, hey, I'm going to do this year, I'm going to do this year, I'm going to do this year, that gets lost in translation really quickly. Yeah. When it's one word, one focus, you can just relate it to everything around you. For instance, connected. I related to everything around me. Networking, shaking hands, talking to people, podcast, speaking to people outside my realm. I like to get what? Wow, this might be it. I like to get now uncomfortable, which I did not like to do prior to starting, we'll say, a personal development journey where I started going to conferences, where I met Russ, where I started the podcast. Now I'm putting myself more out there to get uncomfortable. You cannot live in the comfort zone. It does not work.
That's right.
It does not work. I lived in comfort for a while, or I guess you'd say comfort, but now you have to get outside your realm. You have to get uncomfortable in order to achieve, in order to succeed. It's impossible not to. Impossible not to. And I've kind of learned that as I've gotten a little bit older, that you really need to get outside of your comfort zone. Start shaking hands. Start talking to people you normally wouldn't speak to. Do things you normally wouldn't do, and watch how you grow out of that. It's incredible, honestly. So I think maybe that's a good word for me. I'm going to ponder on it a little bit more, but I think that's a high prospect right there.
That's good, man. That's a good word. And determination as well, right? To be determined. The thing about it is like, for me, with those two previous words, intentional and certainty, like, it was growth. It was personal growth for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Because just like you said, right, getting uncomfortable, putting yourself in the room, putting yourself in the room with people that you don't know, it becomes uncomfortable. But you do it because you need to be uncomfortable
Exactly.
if you're going to grow, right?
Correct. Yep.
And procrastination was something that I still deal with. But because I have the word intentional in my head and in my heart, that combats anytime that I'm thinking about, oh, I'll just put it off till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll wait till Friday. You know what I mean? So that's easy for all of us to do, is to set it aside and make it happen now. Let's
Sure.
do it now.
Sure.
Right? Let's be intentional about whatever we want to be intentional about. The certainty for me was being certain in my decision making. That's really where certainty. Now
Sure.
that one did not happen like intentional. It was a process to really dive in and find my word, but it came to me after a lot of thinking. But like intentional, when it was asked of me, unrecognizable was something that I was writing, that it hit me. That's what I want.
Love that.
That's what I want for 2026.
Love
Is
that.
to become unrecognizable. Like, who am I today? Because I'm growing in myself,
100%.
right? So how do I do that? I read, I listen to podcasts, I talk to people that are smart, that are intelligent. This podcast, it helps me in my thinking about where am I when it comes to all of those things you mentioned a little while ago,
Yeah.
right? With all of our guests that have been a part of this program.
Sure.
It's just unbelievable. So that's what I want. So when
Cool.
I look back at this time next year, 1 year from today, I'm just like, I'm unrecognizable. Like, for myself, I'm looking at it and saying, I have grown so much, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah. 100%. You said something that I'm a big proponent of just a few minutes ago, and you said, put yourself in the room. And how many times have I said that to you in the past?
Oh, hundreds of times.
Put yourself in the room. So I'm a big proponent of that. And that sits with the uncomfortable setting that I talked about just a few minutes ago, is that put yourself in rooms that you're not used to being in. Go into these rooms, shake these people's hands, speak to them, make yourself uncomfortable in that setting, and watch what comes of that.
Yep.
All you have to do is put yourself in the setting. Just get yourself inside the room. And that's not hard to do. There are plenty of conferences. There are plenty of events. There are plenty of things that you can just put yourself out there. I mean, you don't even have to really be interested in what's going on.
Yeah.
Just put yourself in the room to see, get an experience, get something out of it, meet some people, and watch where it goes. And then you kind of learn a little bit about yourself. Like, hey, I want to put myself in more rooms like this. I want to put myself in less rooms like that. And I think you can really grow out of a situation where that comes into play. I mean, think about me and you. We just put ourselves in a room. We grew out of it. We made something of it. We grew something of a high magnitude from just putting ourselves out there in a small room in New York City. You never know what's going to come out of it. You never know. You never know who's sitting next to you. Plenty of events me and Russ have been to together. People sitting next to us. We made plenty of connections just sitting at the table.
Yes.
And people from all different realms, all different walks, all different career paths. And it's been amazing. So I highly recommend getting uncomfortable and putting yourself in the room.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Russ, tell us a little bit about next week's guest real quick and where you're going to be.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the Santa Cruz Athletic Club with Chris and Camille. They're a couple that just opened this space about, 6 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a shopping center. They took a store, they remodeled it, and they opened it up, and I'm excited. So they are gym owners, and I'm actually going to go sit inside their gym. I don't, maybe we'll take the laptop and turn it a little bit, but we're going to sit there and we're going to do interview style with Chris and Camille next Tuesday. I'm thrilled. So you're going to be in a hotel near Fox. I'm going to be at a gym next week.
Completely different next week for Dual Coast.
Yes. and hope to have Chris and Camille be a part of our Impact Santa Cruz next May.
Sure.
So in some fashion, I'm not sure what yet, but anyway, looking forward to. I've never met them in person, so looking forward to meeting them, and looking forward to having them on as our guests. It's going to be a great conversation. So it's going to be a great month.
Awesome.
It's going to be a great month.
Great time. Great time.
Yeah. All right, man. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap for today, guys. Please check us out next week with Chris and Camille. Russ is going to be live is it in Santa Cruz, Russ? Is the gym in Santa Cruz? So Russ is going to be live in Santa Cruz. I'll be in Manhattan next week. So a little bit different setting for both of me and Russ next week for Dual Coast. As always, wellness is not about perfection. It's about progress. Please check us out on all social media handles at Dual Coast Podcast, all streaming platforms at Dual Coast Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. We'll see everybody next week.
Think about your word.
Think about your word. Think about your word.